Hey guys, it's Chris here, and I am super excited for this video. So a couple things right off the bat. I want to welcome my special guest, Snowball. He has decided that he's going to be in the video, and I'm just going to let him be in the video. So there's my cat, Snowball. He's the best. If you're not going to like and subscribe to the channel for me, you should like and subscribe for him, because he's the best. Now, you may notice some of my tiles have fallen off the wall. I should probably fix that, but I've been really busy and I'm going to completely redo my studio in the next week or two, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I got some really cool stuff that I'm going to be putting up behind me, so I'm just not going to fix it. You guys will have to deal for a video. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about two really cool options for thermal printers for your FBA business. If you have watched any video on FBA, you have probably seen people use a Rollo. These are very common in FBA circles. I use one pretty frequently. Almost everybody that's kind of like a guru, makes content, they're probably using one of these, or they're using something like a Zebra. I use these also at one of my warehouses. This is pretty much the FBA industry standard. But then this came out. Now, you're going to say, well, this looks identical. And it really does. I'm going to go into these in a moment and show you how similar these are, but this has a trick. It's wireless, guys. It's Bluetooth. This works without a USB connection. It works from like 30 feet away from your computer. How awesome is that? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you how these work, show you how they're different, show you how they're the same, they're mostly the same, and then at the end of the video, if you want to watch, if you do buy this, I did a complete installation guide, because this is like from the Chinese company, so the directions are kind of like Google translated, aka not very good. So in the description, I have put the link to how to download the correct drivers and the timestamp for when I go through and show the directions on how to set this up. If you actually follow my directions, this can be set up in like 2 minutes. So let's get into it. Let's talk about these, and at the end, if you want to watch how to set it up, it's right there at the end of the video. Let's go. Okay, so there is a reason why the Rollo is kind of the FBA industry standard. And let's talk about thermal printers and why this is such a good printer. So the first thing is, this is the Zebra. This is like the industry standard. This is the Rollo. The Rollo is much smaller. I would say this is like a fourth of the size of the Zebra. This thing is pretty big. Now, that means that if you got a desk and you got stuff on it, it's kind of nice that you don't really take up that much room with it. However, I do like with the Zebra that the roll print fits in the printer. So like you don't have a problem with, like the stand for the rolls or of labels or something like that falling back. And you can put fan folds through a Zebra, okay? So fan fold labels will work. For my Rollo printer, I usually use a label holder like this. Some people just use a cardboard box with a pen through it, whatever, it all works. But you do kind of take up a good amount of room, even though the printer is smaller. I don't think that that's that great of an idea, but I see why people like it. And you could really put your roll under your desk, have the tape, the Rollo on top. There's a lot of ways that you can go about this. But what's real nice about this printer is it opens like this. Now, in the event that you get some sort of a jam, which is very rare with this style of printer, you just open it up, clean it out, it's good to go. You can take a little alcohol cloth, clean these out, clean the optics out, they're good to go. This is a really great design. Now, the Zebra does use a similar design. I'm going to stop talking about the Zebra. I don't know why I keep talking about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. I don't have object permanence, so I forget it exists now. But the thing with these is they both use this design where they just open right up. I can tell you right now, these are identical inside. I suspect, but I can't prove, that these are made by the same factory, okay? How similar these are, it's pretty obvious. Now, what I will say is this. A lot of people are going to ask, are the same quality, everything. They're identical quality. They have the identical DPI, so dots per inch are identical. The number of labels that they print per second, so these basically print one shipping label a second, or 60 labels a minute, They both do that. Now, this in wired mode is just as fast as this. In Bluetooth, this is a little bit slower. Okay, so when I go to print labels, if I go to print like 60 labels at a time or something, it takes about 5 to 10 seconds for it to transfer from my computer to the printer, but then it's every bit as fast. So that's not too bad. Now, another thing with the Bluetooth is that it does have a range of about 25 to 30 feet. And, you know, the further it gets a little bit slower. If it's sitting right next to the computer, you know, it's not that bad. But I like it. And we put about 10,000 product labels through this thing over the last about 2 weeks. And so we did 10,000 product labels and about 1,000 4x6 labels. And honestly, it didn't miss a beat. I purposely used it Bluetooth. We had no connectivity issues whatsoever. However, I always do kind of say, like, you know, when you start adding more technology to something, and you're like, you know, Bluetooth, you can have a Bluetooth problem. Okay, a wire, you're probably not going to have a problem with. But we didn't have any problems, so I'm not going to say that it had a problem. And I did look through the Amazon reviews on this, and a lot of people said that they did have connectivity problems with it. I didn't have any connectivity problems with it. So, I don't know. And if you follow the guide that I used to set this up, I don't see how you're going to have any problems with it. So one of the big advantages to printers like this, the Rollo, the BeePRT, and even a Zebra, is that they'll basically print any kind of label. So these are the labels that we use pretty frequently. I buy these from Betchkey. I'll put a link below in the description. I buy them from their website. You can buy them on Amazon also. I'll just throw a link up there. I don't really care where you buy them from. I don't get an affiliate for it, so who cares? That being said, sometimes you'll see like people getting rid of thermal labels, and it's really nice that you can basically run any kind of label through these printers. And this is true for both of these printers. So you could run fan folds through this. You could run Dymo labels that have the little tab. You could run these labels that don't have the tab. It's all very easy. When I do the setup of this printer, I will show you guys exactly how to do the auto calibration that will calibrate it to any kind of label. That's at the end of the video though. Let's talk brass tacks. Let's talk money. Let's talk what I would buy. Now, this thing from Aliexpress, and I'm going to put a link in the description to Aliexpress to buy this. It's $125. If you have never bought anything from Aliexpress, it basically is the same as buying it from Amazon, but it takes maybe a week or two to get to you. This took about 10 days from the time I ordered it. Not really that bad. This, on the other hand, is $189 on Amazon right now. So this thing is $65 less right now, and it's got Bluetooth. Now, a lot of people I think are going to think this Bluetooth thing is just this major revolution. It's nice, I'll tell you that, but I wouldn't pay more for it. However, you're paying $65 less and you're getting it. So, definitely worth it. If they were the same price, I would probably tell you to buy this one just because you get the Bluetooth. If it was more expensive, I would tell you the Bluetooth probably isn't worth it and to buy the Rollo. But for $65 less and with the Bluetooth, you cannot beat this printer. So let's talk why the Bluetooth is so nice and give some realistic scenarios for using it. This is not the game changer that I think a lot of people are going to think it is. Frankly, it's nice though. We use 24-inch all-in-one computers at my warehouse so that my employees can just touch it with their finger. We then have a keyboard and mouse for more fine work. The all-in-ones that we have do not have a ton of USB ports. I think they have 4. So it's really nice to free one of the USB ports up because they have built-in Bluetooth. So it's one less thing that we have to worry about. And then we can kind of put the printer wherever we want as long as there's power. This is not battery operated, but I mean, you can just plug it in wherever. So if you're printing and, you know, somebody is labeling on the other side of your garage or, you know, 20 to 30 feet away, this will work great. So for that, you can't beat it. It is nice to just be able to have that wirelessness. And like I said, we did not have any disconnection issues with this. I did see some other people in the Amazon reviews having some problems, but once we got this set up, it worked flawlessly. It really did. And we didn't have any jams. Like I said, we put about 10,000 product labels through this and about 1,000 shipping labels through it. No problems whatsoever. It will also connect to a phone. I didn't mess with that. I don't really think that that's a huge advantage, and my business isn't one that does anything for me. But there are some guides out there on YouTube that will show you how to connect this to a phone. It does not seem to be as user-friendly as it was to set up with the computer. But, you know, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. That does look kind of cool if you more like ran an eBay business and didn't want to connect. But, like, I don't know, at a certain point, I would rather just buy, like, a tablet, like a Windows tablet, and connect this to a Windows tablet and not have to worry about, you know, like jerry-rigging together a whole bunch of stuff to get this working off of an Android or an iPhone. So that's it. I really like this. I'm glad I bought this, and we will continue to be using this. And we'll also, of course, continue to be using the Rollo. It's always good to have these extra printers out there. So anyway, guys, that's it. This is my review of it. I really like this thing. I would recommend buying it. It's cheaper than a Rollo, works every bit as good, has the Bluetooth. Now, let me show you guys how to set this up the right way on your computer. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you exactly how to set this printer up. It is super, super easy to do if you follow the directions. Now, I have used this on 2 different computers, both of which are Windows 10. I don't know how to set this up on Mac or Windows 7 or anything else. This is just for Windows 10 and just for computers with Bluetooth. Now, my laptop here actually blew out the Bluetooth part of my motherboard, so I'm using a Bluetooth dongle. But that shouldn't affect it. So if you don't have Bluetooth on your computer, like you have a desktop that doesn't have Bluetooth and you have to use a dongle, that'll work fine. That's what I'm doing on my laptop here. So the very first thing we need to do is just plug in the power, and then we're going to turn the printer on. And it comes on, makes some beeps, great. Now, we want to calibrate it to our label size. So the way that we do that is we adjust our things in here, I don't know what they're called, fingers or whatever, to be the right width for our label. We're going to wait for this red dot to stop blinking, and we just roll this through. Now, what it's going to do, we want to press down the button. We'll hear that. It's going to then calibrate, and I don't know how this works, but it does. Okay, so right now, the first thing that the printer's doing is it's calibrating, figuring out what size label we're printing through it. Great. Now, to save that label, we can go all the way back to the end here and re-close it. Then it just orients and it registers to that perfectly. Now that's it for the printer. Now, in the video description, I'm going to put a link to the driver that I'm about to use to show you guys how to do this. So, we're going to click on this. We're going to start to install it. Now, just so you guys know, you may not be familiar with this company. It's called Seagull Scientific. They are a legit company. This is a real driver. I don't know exactly what they do, but for some reason they make a lot of printer drivers. I believe that they're a point of sale system for bars or something. I don't really know, but I use their drivers for all of my thermal printers. So we're going to go through. We don't need the instructions. We're going to finish. We need to allow it to make changes. Okay. There's a couple things you might not be able to see on my screen because I am doing a screen grab here. We're now going to want to install the printer drivers. Now, this is where people mess up. We want to select Bluetooth. Right now, we're then going to click Add Device Wizard. Add Device Wizard. Now it's searching. Now, that happens to be the printer right there. If you see this and it says the 426BT and like EL or something, just let it keep searching. You want to see this exact thing. Then you click next. It's going to ask you for your password. It's 0000, 4 zeros. That's the password. Then click next. We're going to connect. Now we're connected. I just got a little notification on my other screen that it's now connected. We click next. Okay? Select our Bluetooth device. Click OK. We're going to select our model. It's the 426BT. We then click next. Okay, I'm not going to set this as my default printer, but you could if you want to. I'm not going to share this. I don't know really if I want to do that or how to really do that. Keep it simple, guys. Click next and finish. Close. That's it. It's now installed. So, this is what we're going to print here, our first test print. And we're going to select the BeePRT. And let's click, let's do 5 copies of this. Print. Before we go on, I know that somebody is going to ask me, can I use this with Inventory Lab? Which is a great question. And the answer is yes. So we just set it up just like any other printer. We are now in our Manage Printer settings. Typically at my warehouse, I'm usually using a 450 twin turbo. We're going to click on Set Up a New Printer. We have IL Print already installed and running on this computer. We're going to just select our printer. We select our label size. I use 3034s. Complete setup. That's it. Now I'm not going to click on that just because, so I want to do landscape on those. I don't want to mess up my printer settings for my employees tomorrow when they get into work. But if I clicked on this, I would then be able to send my labels directly from Inventory Lab to the Bluetooth printer over Bluetooth. I've done that several times. I don't want to mess up my settings already, but that's exactly how you do it, and it works like a charm, and it's really nice. So anyway, back to the video. Boom goes the dynamite. Now remember, I said that this was going to take a little bit of time. Also, my registration is off. You know, I could edit this video to remove that error, but let's fix it together. So, my registration is off. That means that if you look here, my printer, my labels are over 2 my print is over 2 labels. That's no good. Let's fix it. So what I did was I held down that button. It's going to go through and see how big my label is. Now let's try 5 of those again. Let's actually just do 1. I don't want to keep wasting labels. Like and subscribe. I am the first FBA guru to spend fractions of a penny on a video. So again, I said there was a delay with the Bluetooth. This would be a bit faster if we were using USB. Ooh, that registration's still off. Well, that is weird. Okay, guys, I figured out what the problem is. And you know what? I probably could go in and edit these videos and take the mistakes out of it and make myself look really good. But the truth is that other people might have the same problems that I have, so I want to leave my mistakes in these videos. When I'm doing these like hands-on user guides, I go through and I do it once before I make the video just to make sure that I don't like fumble through the whole video. But this printer problem where it was printing on multiple pages, I didn't have that problem until now. And I now know exactly what the problem was. And frankly, I want to leave this in because if I don't leave it in, you might have the same problem and not be able to fix it, and now I'm going to show you how to fix it because I made the mistake and now you'll know how to fix it. So here's the thing. I selected a graphic that was the wrong size. The graphic that I'm using here is 7 inches long, and that's too big. It should be 6 inches long. This is a 4x6 label. It should be a 4x6 inch graphic. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the fit. We're going to click on shrink to fit. That is all we have to do. And print it, and now it'll work. Perfect. Just wait. The drama is killing me. I feel very suspenseful right now. Maybe I should start telling you guys stories of my childhood. How about this? Take this time to like and subscribe. And there we go. Perfect print. Okay? This is excellent. This is excellent print quality. That was a nice quick print. I really like this thing, and I think that it's a good fit for a lot of people that are doing Amazon. The Bluetooth is nice. The cost is very nice. This is a very affordable printer. It will do your shipping labels, as I'm doing here. It'll do your product labels. I showed you guys how to do that registration. When you do switch between labels, you will have to redo that registration, but that's not that hard to do. It just takes a couple moments to do. So I would say that if I had to go back and buy a thermal printer from the beginning, I wish I could have bought this. My first thermal printer was a Dymo, and there's nothing wrong with Dymos, but this would be a great beginner printer. If you're worried about the Bluetooth connectivity or you're having problems with it, it works great as a wired printer. We did mess around with that a little bit, and it works fine. It works just as well as the Rollo, the Dymo, the Zebra. They all work pretty much the same. So anyway, guys, that's it. I really like this printer. The link to everything that I referenced is in the description, and I hope that this was very helpful. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.